think that I just come in there and look for knockouts, and that's not the case. You know, I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, wait, I'm here. Who wants to fight with me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighters beat me.
Demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. Yeah, not sure how popular this one is going to be, but you know, we not really made for popularity. We really made to just speak the truth, man, and you know, add something to your rucksack, give you a different perspective on this boxing game. You know, pretty much give you something for you to put in your rucksack and march on with. I always say that we are fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. Fact-based content, not opinion-based, even though we have ours. We are another alternative opinion to what everybody else is saying. We're an alternative opinion to what everybody else is saying. We're not saying don't have your favorite creators. Don't have your likable sources. You know what I'm saying? We all got, go to wherever, they tickle your fancy. Have you feeling all fine and dandy. But also consider what we say over here, because we tend to keep the train on the tracks. One thing I kind of do applaud the channel for, and what I always get feedback for whenever I get a new subscriber, they say, man, I finally found a channel to just keep it boxing. Like, we pretty much stick to boxing. We might get into what's going on with some sanctioning bodies. We might get into, the trash talking and analyzing, situations going into fights, but it's always geared towards boxing. We stay on topic. I always say, man, we like to start with what happens inside the ring, and then we go outside the ring as necessary. But I don't know if this is going to be a popular topic, man, but this is part 2 of a segment that I did a minute ago called No Respect. So this is No Respect part 2. And this is more I would say it's a fun one, but I'm not going to say it's going to be a fun one, but I'm going to say that I would like for it to be an interactive one. Well, I can ask questions and get real feedback, because a lot of times, man, when ain't nobody on it, you don't really think about these things. It's like sometimes people don't put pieces together and they don't ask questions. See, we have been conditioned to become rote in our approach to learning things, right? Memorization and regurgitation, right? Where you hear your favorite creator say this one thing over and over again, and I told y'all how dangerous that is. Why? Because the subconscious does not care if these guys are lying or not. It does not have any regard to what the truth is. It has a regard to what is the most consistent. So if you keep hearing something over and over again, it gets lodged in your subconscious and you tend to believe it. And it's not until somebody says something and you be like, hold on, man, I ain't even think about it like that. But it'd be something very simple. Yeah, oh, so profound. So that's what I do when I break it down, man. I take something and make it very simple and it becomes very profound. And I'm not one of them guys that's going to try to shove Richardson, Hitchins, Africa down anybody's throat. You know what I'm saying? I just it's funny because in the grand scheme of things, man, in the sport of boxing, right, we always we in one breath we'll be saying, oh man, we outsourcing the work, and we'll shit on this Trojan horse that done came in and just spun the game all upside down. It's just shaking you. It just grabs you by your ankles and turns you upside down, and it's dropping everything out your pockets, and it got you all shook up. He gave you that pack, got you lit, and you've been chasing the dragon ever since. And in one breath, we'll be complaining about all the things that's going wrong with boxing. That's the 20%. In which 80% of the boxing world wants to talk about, right? Right. But we'll complain about the Sheik and all of the things that he's doing, how, he's trying to, he already pretty much put his fingerprint on the game. It hasn't been all bad. I've been trying to be more optimistic about some of the things that he's been doing. I have appreciated some of the fights. Not all of them. Mainly that last card, the 5v5 he had, a couple other fights that allowed us to get undisputed, which, because of the money we wouldn't have got. But money isn't everything. Despite P. Diddy and Jermaine Dupri and Jay-Z, and the money isn't everything, man. It really is not. I mean, it means something to these boxers. And I don't blame them for getting a bag. But in the same breath, when we're complaining about what somebody else is doing, we overlook and undermine what's in our own backyard. Somewhere right now, even where I'm in Baltimore, it's several gyms full of little children that are practicing and hitting pads and, wanting to be great and have all these things. And a few of them going to make it. Many of them going to fall by the wayside. A couple of them going to get their lessons and then they're going to matriculate and do something else in life. But the lessons that they learn are going to stick with them that they get. But somebody's actually going to make it. And they're going to be somebody. And if they don't have a loud, rambunctious father, if they don't have a band of brothers, if they don't have some loud, fake-ass, usurping promoter to promote them, we gonna shit on them. Simple as plain. You know what I'm saying? That's what we gonna do, because that's what we do by nature. We make up rules, man. We move goalposts, man. We go along with the get along gang, and it's like high school with one dumb motherfucker come out here and say something, and because you don't want to go against the grain and you don't want to speak the truth, or you don't want to be looked upon as going against the grain, you be silent. And that's what happened in boxing, man. Stop complaining about all y'all motherfuckers who don't like the people that's over here and got something to say about all the people, the boxers over here that don't really have all the things that were aforementioned. Stop complaining about everything then. Just stop complaining. Stop complaining about the Sheik and how he's just fucking up the boxing world. And y'all don't care. Stop complaining about it. Because the people that get it out the mud, the people who do it organic, the people who were not put to the front of the line, the people who were not match made all the way, the people who took the hard way, y'all don't appreciate them. Y'all find a reason to shit on them, whether it's their skin tone with some colorism, some light skin versus dark skin shit. Y'all, he don't have a father shit. Oh, I just prefer this style. You stop lying. Just stop lying to yourself. You don't like boxing. You caught up in the toxicity of boxing. Most of the channels that just talk about pure boxing, because I ask myself these questions all the time. Whoever comes out and do a show straight up about Gary Antoine Russell or any other Russells until they're ready to weaponize them. Who? Name them. Don't nobody be doing shows about half these people. Like when somebody went to bed, where are all the shows about Oshaki this week? And how great he looked? There are none. Cause y'all stay on the beaten path. So I'm just, I'm gonna be the voice of reason, man. That's what this channel do, man. We was doing it for Sabril when nobody was really on to him. It's a bunch of people. We was doing it for T.O. when T.O. was getting the shaft. Like this channel been staying down, like for the ones, the unsung heroes of boxing, the ones that really want to make shit great. And like, I'm gonna be honest, man, I came to a conclusion right before, because I kept looking at a whole lot of videos, man. You know what? I'm gonna say something. As much as I like Shakur, I kind of hope T.O. win. I kind of do, man. I'm like, secretly, man, if I could put that bullshit that he said aside, secretly, I hope he win. You know why? Because it's going to correct a portion of boxing. This French shit in boxing, it's one of the things that where y'all move the goalposts and y'all want to let people run down. This is not the yellow brick road. That's not this. It's not gonna be the Tin Man and the Lion and the Straw Man and Dorothy and Toto and we all gonna go down to, no, it's one man. That's the beauty of boxing. There's one dude that got to take all of it. Everybody get the glory when they win. Oh yeah, man, it was my coaches, it was my staff, it was my promotional, it was my manager, it was, my spit bucket holder, it was all of them. But when they lose, they all by themselves. But what I found is that there are some diamonds in the rough, man. There's some people that just like me, man, who with everything I did, I'd always pretty much done it the hard way. I mean, I might have caught a break here and there, but for the most part, I had to earn it. There's no premium on that right now in boxing. The shit that Tank did, Tank earned that shit. He did not get put on no fast track. He earned that shit. Richardson Hitchins, he earned that. I would say Gary Antoine, he earned it. He might have had a band of brothers, you know what I'm saying? He might have had, something, to look at, something to aspire to look. But like all these manufactured people and all this shit that we got going on, man, it's it makes me question what boxing is going to look like. It made me question what boxing is going to look like in a couple years and whether it's going to really be boxing. And we still got people that's really highly infatuated with this Jake Paul versus AJ shit. And I'm like, just a week ago. But because it was Tank, that was a villain. He was villainized, and nobody said nothing. I peeped something. If Tank was the villain when it was Tank versus Jake Paul, Tank was the villain. That's all people would talk about. They was sparing the shit out of Jake Paul. Now he got AJ. Man, he getting all kind of credit. Listen, man, like y'all are finding and being creative to give this man props. It's disgusting to me. That's why I don't talk about it. That's why I don't even talk about it, man. I don't talk about it, man. I don't talk about it. CJ Rich, what's going on, man? I'm not a Hitchins fan. I know. You don't gotta be. Man. Cookie Monster. Bodywork. Cookie Monster say, mic check. 1 2 1 2. Sounding good. Flame emoji. Because I heard it was Hitchins' team who pulled out of the fight. I have no idea what happened. I'm not sure. What you talking about? I hope if Shakur wins, it's because put real hands on T.O. deserve it, or if Teofimo wins, it's because he earned it by stopping Shakur feet, but not because of shady decision on any side. Yeah. And CJ Rich, man, hope you hanging in there, man. Salute to AC, man. I hope you hanging in there, CJ, man. You know, thoughts and positive vibes go out to you, man. With you in spirit, brother. Keep your head up, homie. Appreciate you being consistent, man, and popping through on your boy. But yeah, man, listen, man. Public service announcement, man. This is not a channel where just because I push something, and I almost wasn't even going to send AC the link today because sometimes I'll be wanting the show to just come straight from me. So anything that I say, that's good, CJ. You still punching. Anything that I say, right? I want it to be coming from me, Bodywork, like the stuff that I say, because I put the stakes. This is something I've been doing before I even started having a consistent co-host and all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get up here for 5 hours and straight talk boxing for 5 straight hours, non-stop, with nothing but facts mixed in with my opinions. 80-20. 80% facts, and then me giving my 20% opinion based on the facts. I can do that. Y'all just don't like the truth. So anything I put out here, it's not for y'all to agree or to like, I'm not trying to sell you anything. What is there to sell? I'm not affiliated with none of these motherfuckers. I just like boxing, but what I'm not going to do, man, is allow people to gaslight me, man. I think somewhere along the line, man, I kind of stopped going over that, man. So I got to get back into doing that, man, because I guess people be thinking out of sight, out of mind. But gaslighting, the practice of psychologically manipulating someone into questioning their own sanity, memory, or powers of reasoning. Some of your powers are based in reasoning. It's not with the rote memorization and regurgitation. It's the same thing like when we all was taken over and conquered. One of the things that they did was they took away our ability to critical think. Why you think the hardest tests are open-ended, where they give you a sheet of paper, they say write this down, they ask you a question, then they ask you to answer it. It's not multiple choice. Why? You can remember all 4 different answers. You can do a process of elimination. You can remember all of the questions for the test in some situations, and then just regurgitate that shit and you will ace. It does not tell you how critically thinking you are. And a lot of us, when I hear a lot of people out here, not just in boxing, this is just the avenue in which I come through because it's therapeutic. Keep me out of trouble. Give me something to do. Keep me occupied. I like to fight. I like to see young talent. I like to see this shit. This is like boxing has become my life of some sorts. You know what I'm saying? A little more than a hobby. But in all things that I'm watching, man, we are in anything. With bots and AI and all this other stuff we got going on, man, like our ability to critically think is falling by the wayside. You need the answers for you. You need somebody to give you the answer, and you're like, oh yeah, that sounds right. No, juice your noodle, come up with your own conclusion, and stop always following suit. Why? Because yeah, you gotta think about this, man. There's some dumbass people out here, man. Some of these big ass channels, man, they dumb as shit. They don't have time to qualify shit that they saying. They're just pushing an agenda to get the money. How easy is that? I mean, it's fairly easy. If you the type where you won't lose no sleep at night, and you can just say whatever, and you can just play politics, that's fairly easy. What's hard? Having your own opinion. What's hard? Taking a stance with some shit once you know that it ain't right and you're gonna speak out on it. I've always been that at the place of business. I'm always gonna be the one that's gonna speak out and say, hey man, that ain't right. Nope, that's not right. Nope, that's not consistent. Nope, that's not the standard. Maybe it's some army shit. Maybe it's how my mother raised me. But when I look at boxing, man, I be looking at a whole bunch of double standards, man. People wake up early in the morning just starting shit, but complaining about other shit that other people start. Ironically, it's like the funniest thing in the world, and all I do is I sit back and observe and take notes. A lot of these cats be older than me, but spiritually and mentally, nah. I can't see it. You know what I'm saying? So we getting led. A lot of y'all getting led by the noses, man. A lot of y'all getting y'all ability to reason manipulated, man. A lot of them are fucking with your medulla oblongata. But let me get down off my soapbox, man, and talk about some boxing, y'all. Let me talk about some boxing, y'all. Let me talk about some boxing. I'm gonna get to the housekeeping. Let me get to is it housekeeping. So Saturday, December the 13th, Edwin De Los Santos returns against a guy named Elliot Chavez. When I looked at him, man, again, I'm not gonna claim to know everything. Just found out that he was actually having a fight. He's a Dominican. I think he's very explosive. I think he is. If he was consistent, he would definitely be a key player in the game. He's just not consistent. It's a slight language barrier. But he is feisty. A little spicy. Fighting a guy named Elliot Chavez. I think I seen him. He like 12-7. I mean, people would use the proverbial, he's a bum. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. I'm just gonna say, man, Edwin De Los Santos is trying to get his feet wet. You know, he had like prior to, he was out for over a year and some change. Leading up to that Keyshawn fight, in which Keyshawn decided to blow weight. He tried to do the Ryan Garcia, and his team advised him, you know what I'm saying, no, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? They probably told him, man, he might fuck you up, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, since this is his show, he don't want to pay you no extra bread. He don't want to make no concessions, you know what I'm saying? Just take the money and be out. You know what I'm saying? Go get some rest. Hey, go a couple dollars. Or relax, you know what I'm saying? Get ready for the next one. So I think that he really just want to get back in there and get his feet wet. That's the only reason why I would say, you know, he should, you know, he's easing back into the swing of things. So we will see what happens. I'm pretty sure it's going to be on a highlight reel. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure it's going to be a highlight reel of some sorts. There wasn't much information on there about it, but he is making a return. And as y'all can see here, since the row is pretty much like, I consider the row 140 my division. This is one of them divisions where if you see this right here, y'all see this? I did this for the row a while ago, man, and everybody I had on it wound up becoming champion or being major key players. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I did it again. So people that was between 40 and 47, I put them up here. And these are not the A-listers. These are the guys that people tend to think about in hindsight. You know what I'm saying? When they're thinking about these divisions. And I even left somebody that should be on here off of here. But if you look on the bottom left, you see Edwin De Los Santos. There's a reason why I had him and Frank Martin front and center pretty much. Because I think that those guys are sleepers, you know what I'm saying? They get back to getting active because they kind of both have this here lately. They've kind of both been having this problem with inactivity. But they have a skill set to where if they and they've been in the ring with some marquee names to where if they were to stay active, they are going to be very dangerous in the sport. So I'm pulling for De Los Santos to do his thing, man, so we can see him on the prowl, on the hunt You know what I'm saying? Mixing it up with these 40 guys, man. It's very, very competitive out here in 40. I'm starting to hear more and more people say, oh man, that's the most competitive division. No shit, Sherlock. I've been on it. You know what I'm saying? Believe it or not, I ain't even gonna say it. I'm gonna leave it alone. But I've been on 40, man. I've been on that division, man. I'm looking forward to De Los Santos getting back in the swing of things and coming out on top. Number 2, culture vulture fatigue is a real thing, you know. Like, are y'all not getting tired of these culture vultures, man? I was thinking about, I've been, you know, I always say, man, at the end of the year, especially around the holiday times and all that, it is a time of reflection, man. Aren't y'all getting tired of culture vultures? Ain't y'all getting tired of these people that pop out of nowhere, man, and all of a sudden they getting all these, and I'm not the motherfucker eating a banana. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to my lady, she be saying that. She be saying, I'm not the motherfucker from Belly eating a banana and shit. That's not what I'm saying, man. That's not me. I'm saying, man, listen, man, aren't y'all tired of these people coming out the wings, man, sitting down, and you know they just being culture vultures, man? Y'all not tired of that, man? Y'all not tired of the Seans and Tails of the world just popping in and just like culture vulturing, like where it's like you jacking, it's like, and then your influence and what you say is supposed to be above what everybody else who watch this shit be ingrained in this shit, study, and like your opinion, what you say is supposed to be more like, oh, y'all not tired of seeing this shit where they just insert and inject somebody to sit down between two people that you've been watching for years talk, and you know that it's bullshit. I'm getting fatigued. I'm getting culture vulture fatigue, man. If y'all keep allowing this, and I'm telling you, man, for all these people out here, look, man, you ain't gotta be like that. You ain't gotta be as raw and funky as this channel. All I'm trying to do is ask you to reach down in your pantalones like you got a set of cojones and start speaking to the things that are fucking up the sport of boxing. Because you know, I always say silence is consent, which means that all it takes for evil to prevail is for men and women to remain silent. So you got to speak to the things, man. Do y'all know that if y'all remain silent and y'all just keep letting people just culture vulture, you know what our sport's going to look like? Look at what Jake Paul is doing. He's almost like a poison pill. So we got the Sheik being the Trojan horse, Jake being a poison pill, meaning that it's shit that come along with Jake to where, yeah, he's putting on from women's boxing, you know, he's signing some people, putting some money in some people's pocket, but it's just like those laws when you go to vote. It's like, okay, if you accept this law, look at the laws that's up under it. They gotta come along with that shit. Is it really worth it? You know what this shit remind me of? It remind me of when you sitting around, you watching them commercials, right? Them pharmaceutical commercials, right? And they say, hey man, do you suffer from migraines? And it's like, all right, we'll give you, take this pill and it's gonna cure you of your migraines, but it's gonna give you ulcers, diarrhea, restless leg syndrome, heart palpitations. Like it's gonna get like, it's like, well damn, I'd rather just had a migraine. And I just rather have my sport where we don't get a lot. I just rather have my sport just a little bit more pure to where I ain't got to worry about worrying. Because now, man, I got people that I talk about boxing too regularly being very concerned about how boxing is being fixed. That's the same shit I was thinking about football before I really got off of that train. We know it's fixed, but like, I'd just rather have it to where, okay, once a month we'll get, you know what I'm saying, we might not get a big fight every month, but every other month, or at least once a quarter, we'll get a big one with a bunch of, you know what I'm saying, above average ones. I'll take that. I'll take a year full of 75ers with 2 major fights as opposed to shit that's advertised as all these big fights every other week to where the shit is fixed. Or you going along with it, singing the praises of it just because you don't want to offend nobody by saying, I don't like it. Why did everybody flip-flop on this Jake Paul shit? You see, I didn't advertise it. I wanted my man to go get that bread. I ain't gonna lie. I wanted Tank to go get that bread. I was hoping he was gonna go get that bread. Why? Because he deserved it. He earned it. He earned that shit. I still wasn't a fan of Jake Paul, and I'm not going to be. But he's a poison pill, man. And if you do your projections right, if you go back and you look at what Floyd did that shit right at the tail end of his career. He had a couple like novelty fights, but his career, it's just like Tank. And that fight didn't happen, but if you go back through Tank resume, that shit aging like fine wine. But you letting the people, he who controls the printed page controls the thinking of this age. The people that's controlling the page is controlling the way you thinking. And because your subconscious done heard this shit over and over and over again, you think that what people are saying is the gospel, and it's not. It don't even hold up to their standards of thinking when it comes to everybody else. I'm tired of culture vultures. Now we got this fake ass Versace dude sitting down. I'm like, where does this dude come from? Like, this dude, I've been seeing him on the side of the ring now. That wasn't good enough. So now you got it, and that's typical shit. Like, this is what they do. That ain't like Versace ain't yours. But you got an endorsement deal with him. It's not yours. You got an endorsement deal with him. But who gave this guy the right? Like, who is he? Like, where are these people coming from? Why do they get to just jump in on boxing and just like, it ain't good to be just on the side with your glitzy, glamoury sweaters and shit, like your flamboyant sweaters and your big hats? That's not enough to where everybody just get to have to look at your dumb ass on the side of the ring every time we one of them DAZN fights. That's not enough. Now you gotta be the one along with dry ass Coppinger, the Latin Snake, big head Mannix, and all these dudes. Then you got Tim Bradley doing his best showbiz impersonation. It's like, what the fuck is going on with boxing? Roy Jones, he AWOL from Andre Ward. Like, the one thing that we got, two Hall of Famers who we really respect these guys. Roy Jones, he AWOL. It's just one-sided Andre Ward doing the thing. So the thing that we starving for, Roy Jones, is AWOL, and Andre Ward keep doing this thing, but we can't get that. But yet we get all these little straw men, these poison pills, these culture vultures talking about boxing all the goddamn time like they really know what they're doing. They are just in it for the money and the influence. So they can be like, oh yeah, I had the privilege to be able to sit down with just, it ain't no different with these people that's getting online and doing it either. It's a bunch of culture vultures that just popped out of nowhere. They was in different industry. They just popped in and they just doing it just to get some name. They don't even know what they be talking about. They have no clue what they be talking about. Like, they don't even, it's popular channels, it's big ass channels that get up every morning, and guess what? They don't watch the fights, but they hear every morning, and you sitting there listening to them. They don't even watch the fights. Like, how do you have opinion on fights that you don't watch? And there's a bunch of dumbass people out here that listen to them, swear by him, super chat him. For what? I ain't hate. I'm not the man with the banana, man. I'm just saying, man. I'm getting tired of these culture vultures, man. Lastly, never argue with fools, because from a distance, people won't know who's who. And I try to tell somebody, man, like, listen, man, steer clear of this person, steer clear of that person, man. Don't go fooling around over there. You ain't got no business. You should be focused. You should do this. You should do that. And guess what happened? Guess what happened? I didn't know who the fool was, but I saw it. And I said, man, I tried to tell you, man, like, this person don't got nothing good going on. He's always got something going on with this person, that person, this person. Just chill out. Me, the minute I realize that my presence is no longer desired, guess what? I'm gone. Call me the ghost. You don't gotta worry about me popping up and showing up for what? If I gotta go somewhere where my presence is just tolerated and I'm not appreciated, I will alleviate you of that, sir. You don't have to worry about me showing up. You don't have to worry about me trying to be like Brandy. I just want to be down like Brandy. No, sir, I got other shit I could be doing. But you know what these people are about. But some people, you know what I'm saying? Some people, they got to touch the stove, man. I was never one of them. My mom taught me about consequences and repercussions very early. So I'm not one of them guys that got to touch the stove. I ain't got to run into the brick wall. I know it's hard. I know it's hot. You ain't got to worry about me. That's just me. So you can keep running into that brick wall. You know what I'm saying? You can keep touching that stove thinking that things are going to change. But that, by definition, is insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Shit me. That is the housekeeping. Chef AC, what's good, man?
What's good, bro? Good cook, man. I just wanted to piggyback off of some of your points as well. I want people to understand kind of where I come from. My side of this equation here is to just ask the questions that I think the fans really want to know, like the fans that really, really love the sport, even if they may be far-fetched or whatever, just try to keep it from the place where I feel most comfortable as a fan of the sport. Not a fan of one particular fighter. I'm a fan of many different fighters, but I love the sport even more. So sometimes I'm a little loose with it, you know, especially when I get rolling. I may forget because just the idea of the matchup, just like for example, the other day I was talking about David Benavidez and Bam Rodriguez partnering up, and not even realizing at the time I'm running off at the mouth that they're part of two different promotional companies. But just the thought of them two like linking together and saying, all right, if both of us is looking for the same thing, to be the face of the sport and really set ourselves apart from every other fighter, then you can control this half of the game. I got everything from here on up. You got everything from here on down. And if we run this shit together, we could cover twice the ground. So that's kind of the perspective in my mind that I was going with and saying, okay, yeah, in my mind, that makes so much sense. You know, but being that they're two different companies, it's like, oh, goddamn, that kind of fucked that whole thought up. Damn. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But overall, when I'm looking at just the whole landscape of the sport, I feel it's a double-edged sword. It might be one of them weird old school, 19th century weird swords that has actual 4 different sides to it. To whereas we understand the business, but we also understand that we need to see some of these great fights. Then we understand the promotional companies. And then the latest wrinkle that just pulled out, and now everybody's making a big issue of it, is the sanctioning bodies. So in my opinion, it's that double-edged sword, to where as many people are trying to not stay on the side where you have to be responsible, and that's right on the edge. Mm-hmm. Saying what you got to say, sticking to it, you know what I'm saying? And if you're wrong, it's going to cut. And sometimes just the way the movement of everybody and the internet and things like that, because you were putting down such a convincing argument, and then it just didn't turn out that way because the nature of the sport, it may cut deep because people now want to feel they have a right to keep coming at you and bringing up that old situation, not knowing that, okay, that was like 3-4 weeks ago. We've got a whole new face. We got a whole new situation. We've had several different fights. We've had great stuff that just happened. Again, we talking about Oshaki, we're talking about Richardson, Hitchins. My opinions are my opinions. If I agree with Body, I agree with him. In most cases, we may agree on the big picture, but sometimes the substances of maybe how you get there, we may disagree on. Just like I always tell people, listen, there's more than one way to get to the number 5. You can just go straight at it and be 5. You can go 4 plus 1. You can go 10 divided by 2. There's just so many different ways to get there, but long as you get there, that's the part that matters. So let's not get caught up in the semantics of we're arguing over who's right and who's wrong about getting to the number 5. If both of our goals are to get to the number 5, or if everyone's goal is to get to the number 5, then all that other bullshit really don't matter. It's just a bunch of fucking ego where dudes just feel like, oh, I gotta be right. I can't be wrong. Then you and I have no place in conversations or being in the same room, because I can't be around people like that. So that's my standpoint. I know that there's more than one way to get to 5, and if your way to get to 5 sounds plausible to me, I may take that path for a minute and then say to myself, you know what? I kind of like 3 plus 2 better. So I'm gonna hop on 3 plus 2. And that's where I'll keep it. And other than that, bro, it was a solid cook. Let's just get into the meat and potatoes of this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I'd be happy to have my little rants to get that out, man. Because if I don't,
for sure.
That's why when I be perusing, I kind of like stop commenting, man. I'll go and I'll watch. I'll like. It was an interview. I don't fuck with the dude who did the interview, but I hyped this video anyway. Why? Because I fuck with the boxer. So I'll hype the video. I'll do shit like that. I'll like the video. I'll hype the video. I just don't. Every now and again I'll comment, but I just don't comment no more because it's foolishness. But
yeah,
Dev Wall says, how do you speak on a fight you don't watch? Perfect way to sum up this internet cash grab for a warrior sport. Salute, Bodywork boss. I appreciate that, Dev, because it's it'll have you thinking there's something wrong with you. Like you'll be sitting like just like everything. It's like when you try to watch any reality TV. If you try to watch anybody that's really talking about sport, it's like it starts off pure, just like everything in life, where people start off with pure intention. I was just talking to my lady about that pop the balloon thing. I said, man, you know what? And I'm gonna get off of it and we're gonna cook. But let me just say this, because it's gonna make sense. I was saying, man, you know, that pop the balloon. I was like, man, if when it originally started, I was like, when they originally did that, I was like, man, it was genius. And I was like, man, the thought of it was probably so pure that it could not fail, because if you could get a lineup to where you bring people from different varieties, you have some fun to where a simple pop is like, nah, I'm not with it no more, I'm off, and then eventually you can at least set a couple on their tracks to at least go out and have a date and see where it goes. You know what I'm saying? Just to get a semblance of compatibility and just get them on their tracks. If you could just do that, that's brilliant. And as long as you are fixated on that being the thing, the purity of it, and you run with that, man, it will be no end. There'll be different little nuances you can add and ways that you can like have a dress code, or kind of do one with just these zip codes, or have, once you get a list to where it's like, okay, you can kind of get it to where people are not going to be so far apart. You can tweak it and do that, and it's to perfection. But once you start getting down to the point to where it's about you being able to get the money because of the views, because of the attention, because of the clowns, because of the show, because of all of the drama, the messiness. Once you start doing that, you're gonna get it. It's gonna be like Jerry Springer, though. You're gonna get the bread, but guess what? Your trajectory is gonna be like this, and you're just gonna be one instance away from everything being gone. And so now what I realized with this boxing stuff is people decided to, like LaShawn McCoy, one of my favorite running backs ever. I hate his guts when it comes to boxing. Like, I really would want to swing on that man when it comes to boxing. But he was one of my favorite running backs when he played for the Eagles. Can't stand it. He over there with Max Kellerman and all them idiots and Mike Cop. Like, it, man. People decided that boxing is a lick. You know what I'm saying? And so once I realized that the purity of what you're doing is because you want to be sensational or you want to play or cater to this audience that's always going to be the anti. Like, if you always know that there's going to be somebody that opposes the tank, so your demographic is to say anything that opposes that, I'm not going to be with it. If you know that there's always going to be somebody like, it's hard to explain, but like, it's a bunch of creators out here to where they know that it's a demographic that's not going to agree with whoever's popular. So, like, when Canelo was on top, which, you know, he kind of, in this way, he kind of still is as far as the money and all that, like, until proven otherwise, right? Probably is, right? But they cater to anybody on the opposite end of Canelo, and that's just an example, right? Like with David, there are going to be people that cater to whoever's on the opposite end of David. There's no purity in that. And then they flip-flop. Like, they bandwagon. Like, there are some people that just like the Seattle Seahawks when they started winning. Like, where we didn't see no Seattle Seahawks, like back when they had them little gray uniforms, and they wasn't like, the uniforms wasn't popping. They were just kind of like a dog gray, and they had the old Seahawks logo. It looked hard now because it's a throwback uniform. But when that was their uniform every week, when they didn't have no fans, right? Once they started winning, they got the Legion of Boom. You know what I'm saying? They had that secondary that was out of this world. They had Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson. It's like all these Seahawks fans came out of the blue. That's how it is now. Unto the winner goes all the spoils. So you have a bunch of channels that just dick ride whoever's winning. I'm not like that. I'll give you a salute and say, yeah, you won or whatever. But if I don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with you. I can do that. So once you lose the purity and the essence of what you're supposed to be doing here online, talking about boxing, I'm done. And once I can see that, and then there's no real way for you to return, I'm off. I don't even care about your opinion. That's just me, though. Boxing is a lick. And a lot of these pro boxers, man, they didn't decide like Tim Bradley. To him, man, Tim Bradley should have one of the best shows. He could spend a little bit of bread. He don't got to be trying to acquiesce and try to cater to Turkey and try to get a spot the way he get money. He could take a little bit of the bread he got, get a couple people around to just same shit Sean Porter did. To where Sean Porter really don't want to answer, don't want to play the game. Sean Porter has the liberty to do whatever he wants. He did his own little logo. He did his own thing. He gets the studio. He does that. Tim Bradley got more than enough bread to be able to do that. He do not got to be doing all that shucking and jiving that he be doing. And oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you, making his eyes like he don't got to do that. So once the purity of what you saying, like, what good is it you being in the Hall of Fame if you gonna be out here just for sale? Your voice is for sale. What's the good in that? Y'all can listen to him. Like, I mean, I rock with him because he do know whatever but when I know that he's basically doing all that bullshit, I ain't with it. I've been calling him out before he even got down from Top Rank. So, I mean, he don't care about me because I never laced him up. Oh, well, he never been to Iraq either. You know what I'm saying? So, no harm, no foul. But I know what he's up to, and boxing is a lick. They about to start, like, I see one dude he's basically monetizing his picks now. Like, you got to become a member to see this part and hear his analysis on this. It's a cash grab. That's all it is. That's what it's become, man. It's ruining our sport. Between these culture vultures and these people that see boxing as a lick. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, you can't even get an honest take with somebody to actually do some research, watch a fight, take some notes, be focused. You can't even get it. They just saying whatever the masses want to hear. That itching ear. Most people land where they go, and they land where their itching ears get scratched. That's where they go. There's a lot of people. Let me see.
Great work, bro. And that's. No, I was saying that's crazy work because there's a certain element to it that's human nature, but then there's a certain element that says, I don't want to go to a channel that's going to be truthful, because if they start speaking the truth about somebody that I like, I may not like what they have to say.
Yeah. It's like even here. It's even here. That's why I like having Melazar on here. I like having D Caligo on here, you here on here, because as much as I might not agree with anything, or y'all might not necessarily fuck with the person I'm fuck with, it don't bother me when y'all say shit about Tank, or y'all have, that's y'all opinion. Like, people can't even do that. Like, what are you there for if you can't even have your own opinion? You are part of a cult and you don't realize it. You got Stockholm syndrome. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people get cursed out here recently. I've seen people, and it happened to me. It happened to me a while ago, and I just started saying, you know what? I knew this was gonna happen. The minute you disagree, you know what I'm saying? They want to call you out of everything you say. You supposed to be anti. It's like, no, everything you saying is some bullshit, and I'm challenging you. Yeah. But you don't like to be challenged. You like people to fall suit. You like people to fall in line with what you got to say. That's not me. It's never gonna be me. If I agree with it, I'm like, damn, I'll be feeling like, damn, they own it, man. Like mine. I'll be like, damn, salute, super chat, salute. Minute you start saying a bunch of shit, I might not agree with it, but if you got, it's been time where I don't agree, somebody say something and make me think about something, I'll be like, you know what, maybe they do got a point there. And I rock on. But like, I don't shun nobody because they say something about Tank. I don't even feel like I gotta defend it. Sometimes people be saying some shit about Tank or something about somebody I fuck with. I don't even defend it. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Because that is y'all opinion. You're entitled to have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, you know, I'm not a dictator, man. Easily baked. Salute, easily baked. But yeah, we're gonna cook, man. I know I'm hyper, man. That's how I get when I start working out and shit, man. I be hype as shit. Hell, like, you know what I'm saying? That just happens, man. I'm a little hype because I've been working out. I've been getting in shape and shit, so I got all this extra energy and shit. But let's get down to the meat and potatoes, man. What everybody came here to see, man. And again, I'm not selling anybody or anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna ask a bunch of questions, right? And I want feedback. I want feedback on this so that you can see like how I see boxing. Like that's the main purpose. One of the things about this channel is like, you don't have to agree with what I say, but to see boxing the way I see boxing sometimes. Just to glimpse and see how I be looking at things, because I notice patterns. Like I spent a couple years, I spent like 7-8 years doing HVAC to where I had to troubleshoot, right? So my whole thing was like to figure out what's wrong. So in my mind, and plus I'm already a solution-oriented person. So when I see something that's abnormal or something that ain't making sense, my logic kicks in and say, that don't make sense. I gotta address it. I gotta try to fix it. I gotta try to solve the problem. And it's a lot of shit that goes on in boxing, and people say a lot of things to where it's like, hold on, yesterday you said this. I can't help it. So when it comes down to Richardson Hitchins, I'm asking the question is like, how come the rules are different for Richardson Hitchins in my perspective? In a lot of things, right? Given the things that I know and the things that I've highlighted, why are the rules different? Why does it appear as though he's being treated like the black sheep of boxing right now? You know what I'm saying? That's what I was thinking. And so I did this one. This was part one right here. I did the no respect. That was the original one. So then I came out with this one. This is no respect part 2. You know what I'm saying? On some Rodney Dangerfield. And I say that because, let me ask you something, AC. Don't they say, is it true or false that they say unifications trump mandatories?
All day.
So with you on some legacy shit and you are pursuing a unification, wouldn't that trump anything else?
Yeah.
So,
and it also would expose something else too. It all depends on the situation.
Okay. So let's think about this in the first situation, right? And y'all can stop me. I always say, stop me when I'm lying, right? Stop me when I'm lying. You could say that Richardson Hitchins is late to the party because he was not fast tracked, right? He don't have a father with a bullhorn. He don't have a T.O. Senior. He don't have a Bill Haney. He don't have a Daddy Schofield. He don't have a Brian Norman Sr. He don't have none of that, right? He don't got a band of brothers. Like, he don't got a Mr. Gary Russell. He don't got like a whole, like, he don't got an Antonio Russell. He don't got like a fleet of brothers. He don't got Bozy in this, right? With a bunch of brothers that used to fight and do all this, with a whole gym where people come and get work. He don't have none of that, right? He did start off at TMT, but guess what? He didn't, like, Zab Judah's not his godfather. Roy Jones is not his uncle, step cousin, whatever you want to call it. Like, he was not from a young age, like when he was a little boy being trained by Floyd. He don't got all these relationships, but somehow, some way, he found himself as a champion without having all of those things, right? Without having a gold medal, without having a silver medal, without even having he has an Olympic pedigree because he went, but he didn't medal, so he didn't get the fast track that way. He didn't have all of these people like pushing and vying for him to do this and do that. Like, he had to get it out of Z Mud based on pure talent. But guess what? He never like misrepresented New York, in my opinion. All of these fighters get to brag and boast, but for somehow, some way, whenever he brags, whenever he boasts, whenever he talk his shit, people be saying he need to shut his black ass up. I be like, what the fuck? Like, butt fuck tuberculosis. He always be having something to say. I'm like, man, somebody should slap the shit out you on site because the shit you be like, now he done flip flop and now he all up butt ass. But I'm like, they damn near like the same complexion. Might be a shade or two different. But like, what is it? Is it some colorism? Because when Keyshawn was talking that light skin, that light skin dark skin shit, that colorism shit, I wasn't for it. Oh, he light skinned. The same shit Clarissa Shields be on. Oh, you know, because it's there. It's just as real as the air that we can't see, but that we know that we need. We just can't see it. It's there. It's just like it is there. It's just like its cousin, RAC-ism. It's just like it. But they do that with Richardson Hitchins. Nobody gonna come out there and say that, but they do that with him, and I don't understand it. I'm like, he representing. He's a champion from over here who got it out the mud, and especially like coming from New York of all places. But I heard Shakur say that, oh, he was trying to discount Teofimo, trying to say that he was down there from Florida. Well, Richardson Hitchins is from New York, representing New York all day, every day. You know who he got? He got Coach Lenny. That's who he got. But when Kambosos and his father was there, like, it was just him and Coach Lenny. When Devin Haney, when Bill was trying to jump in, it was just him and Coach Lenny. When all these other people got all these other things, it just be him and Coach Lenny. It ain't no whole bunch of brothers. He damn near got disowned by Eddie Hearn when he announced that he was a free agent. But what happened was, this what happened. He survived TMT. Eddie took a chance on him. He saw something on him because Eddie is a master at procuring American talent and getting them over there to be a pawn or a rook or a knight on his chessboard. I ain't gonna charge you nothing for that. He's a genius at doing that. He's very good at grifting talent from over here, putting them over there, doing whatever he wants with his plans. So Richardson Hitchins matriculated his way up through. Now he had to go to IBF belt with the 10-pound rehydration. But what he wound up doing was he wound up beating the man to beat one of the boogeymen, and Liam Paro. Everybody was saying that Richardson Hitchins was ducking Subriel. I too did videos about why nobody would fight Subriel. But guess what? I couldn't say that he was ducking because why? Everybody made strategic moves not to fight Subriel Matias. Your favorite fighter, if your favorite fighter was fighting at 140, made strategic moves not to fight Subriel Matias. I think Gary Antoine is the only one that didn't strategically move to not fight Subriel Matias. So I couldn't just single out Richardson Hitchins. But guess what they say? They say they never got a contract for it. So I cannot say, like, that's what I be trying to say. I asked somebody today, I said, well, was it yesterday? One of these days, I asked somebody, it was this morning. It was this morning. I said, when, because they said that Richardson and Hitchins is ducking Gary Antoine. And I said, okay, so when did Gary Antoine send the contract? They said, oh, well, he got to send a contract now and all this. I'm like, well, how are you ducking when y'all was never in discussions? You getting ready to defend your mandatory. I just beat Kambosos, who was in a triangle. So if I'm chasing T.O., Kambosos is in that triangle. Why? Because Kambosos beat T.O. So if I go and I fight Kambosos and I stop him, I stop the only guy to put a blemish on your record. And you never got your get back. You are at my fight. You get in the ring. You had the serpent chain and the suit, GQ smooth. You get in there and you ask the crowd, is this what y'all want? The crowd like, oh yeah, we want that. So then we thinking it's gonna go down. You announce that you're a free agent. You throw that shit in Eddie lap. That's the only mistake I say that Richardson Hitchins did, right? But he got that, man. He had, and don't try to Mandela affect me like I said last time. Don't try to Mandela affect me. Why? Because Turkey Al-Sheikh told us that he was thinking about, just like that wacky ass thing that he had on that tennis court, he was gonna have one at Alcatraz, and everybody was for it. And guess who it was supposed to be? It was supposed to be T.O. and Richardson Hitchins. So don't try to gaslight me like that wasn't happening, because he was trying to put on these little sideshow, like these little peculiar places to hold boxing events, trying to reinvent the wheel. But I know that was going to happen, and that didn't happen. He kind of reneged, and then once that free agency stuff happened, Turkey said, well, he ain't fucking with Africa unless he's still with Eddie. That sounds like some SLAVE type shit. If you ask me, I don't know. But he don't got, it ain't a Bill Haney out here. There ain't a bunch of brothers out here that's gonna talk about it. Like Eddie, only to the extent of not offending Shakur or anybody that might be in his stable or anybody that might have an interest in fighting Hitchins, he ain't gonna do it. So after that, he got out there and he said F the Haneys when he was out there too. So he had T.O. in the ring. He was like, man, this is the fight I want. He was targeting what? AC? Is that not a unification?
Yep.
So Richardson Hitchins was targeting unification. He stopped the guy to put the only blemish on Teofimo Lopez's record. Got him in the ring. Had him there. Was saying, I want to fight you. T.O. got in the ring. You know how like when Shakur got in the ring and Devin got out the ring? Or you know how when Devin got in the ring and him and Loma saw each other and Loma was like, oh, he's a middleweight. Like that same type of thing where they're in the ring. You know how like when this didn't happen now, but like when Earl got in the ring with Fundora and that happened, like you know how they get in the ring, like the ceremonial thing to where if you get in the ring and they allow you to, then it might happen, or it should, like according to the ceremony, if you like the whole ceremonial type things. So he had him in the ring targeting a unification, and that's what he wanted. He didn't get it, but everybody shitted on him, and guess what? Gary Antoine then comes out and said, hold on, man, you don't never say my name. I'm like, hold on, man. And Gary Antoine is my man. He's in my intro. He's one of my favorite fighters. But I'm like, hold on, man. You can't pop out now. Well, you can. Who am I? You can, but it don't sound right when you pop up out of nowhere and you say, oh man, this man don't ever say my name. He be avoiding me. He doing this. He doing. I'm like, hold on, man. Nobody even know what you're doing over there. Like, we didn't even know. Like, yeah, you got back after the loss to Puello. You got back. You did what you did to El Rayo, right? And you actually got a strap. But nobody didn't know what you was doing. I thought that was an unfair shake to Richardson Hitchins right then and there. I'm like, hold on, this man was already targeting it. And then this the other thing. After T.O. had been saying all those crazy things about the bananas and all these other little things that he was saying, right? I was saying, well, damn, the same way Calico was saying Shakur wouldn't be a guy that he would call to get the job done on T.O. Well, guess who would be a guy that I would call to get the job done on T.O.? A Gary Antoine. But guess what? Gary Antoine was saying, nah, we boys, we go back to the... So that unification couldn't happen. But you want interference as a black man on the other black man if we gonna play this game when he had his eyes set on Tio. So I'm like, hold on, man, Gary, like that's a head scratcher to me, bro. And so then we didn't know what happened with Richardson Hitchins, because Eddie came out, was doing all these videos talking about how he was offended and all this, and I said, oh well, this is what Richardson Hitchins did. He cut the grass. So now we can see who was really in the grass waiting. Why? Because I don't know how you can have a victory. You do some body work. You stop Cambosis. You target a unification. You get the guy with the other belt, the WBO. I got the IBF, the hard one, the one where I can only rehydrate to 10 pounds, the line that nobody really wants to stand in, other than the Super El Matiz, the Liam Paro, Gustavo Lemos, those type guys. You get the belt. You target the guy with the WBO. You say, hey man, let's get it on. I got you. And then you say, fuck the Haneys. Who is the name? So that's unification or big name. That's tax victim. You stop somebody with body work, you call for unification, and then you say fuck a big name. What else are you supposed to do? And I've never seen a champion in recent day and time do that. Not named Richardson Hitchins. I haven't seen anybody do that. Have you seen somebody in the last 6 months, have you seen somebody stop somebody to about? Only other comparable thing to this was what I just saw with Oshaki. When you go in there, you clean house, your dude trying to move up, he talk all this bullshit, you pretty much put belt to ass, you get the interim belt to the guy who you've been calling out, who's trying to put his little mans on you, and you like, nah, I'm in this thing like a gerbil. You got to see me, brother.
Yeah.
In recent history, I don't know, but like, am I missing something, AC? Like, am I overreacting? What am I like? Because this is how I see boxing. I'm like, hold on. By the letter of the law, like, what else was Richardson? Oh, because he's cocky and he's confident. They all talk a shitload of a ton of shit to each other. Like, but what am I missing?
Yeah. No, there's really not that much, if anything at all. But I'm gonna say it like this: you followed his career a lot closer than I did, and I'm not even gonna try to gaslight anybody. But I just wanted to address one of Malazar's comments. Basically, in Brooklyn out here, no one really knew that Gerald Miller was from Brooklyn until he started to say it. We just thought he fought out of Brooklyn if you was following MMA. Same thing, Shannon Briggs, you knew he was from Brooklyn because he just said it from day one. Mike Tyson, his whole aura was coming out of Brooklyn. With Africa, I do remember seeing him, but we seen him in Mayweather gym. So even though they were saying whatever from Brooklyn, it's like, I don't know really how you from Brooklyn and going all the way over there to be part of that gym, unless there's a Mayweather gym that's closer to New York or whatever. But sometimes you just got to really like make that noise and like say it like you own it. You know, like when Mike Tyson would walk in the ring, he had this look on his face. He had the scowl, just the white towel, the whatever, kept it raw, dirty, gully, grimy, gritty. And then when they always seem to catch it when they said he's fighting out of Brooklyn, New York, he do that head thing and then move his shoulders. So they always seem to time it right there to be like, ooh, it's like Mufasa. You feel what I'm saying? So he kind of owned it. Where in my opinion with Africa, he owns it, but I mean, he speaks on it, but he hasn't owned it yet because it's probably people are waiting out here to make sure you proven like that. We don't like to support dudes because we did it in the past. We supported dudes that didn't show up when it was time, and then it felt like a hit to Brooklyn to see Mike Tyson get beat up by what's his name? Not Evander. What's the first guy he lost to? Why am I brain farting on this dude's name? Um, Whoever the dude was that his mom's had passed away, and then he had fought Mike Tyson. The first, like the biggest upset in boxing history, as they call it, Buster Douglas. Yeah, when Mike fought Buster Douglas, that was like, whoa. You had no idea what the clubs felt like that weekend, what walking in the street felt like, what it was like walking down Pickens Avenue and going to the shack where everybody used to always see Mike Tyson buying music and stuff like that. What it was like that following day. So it was weird. So we're kind of cautious on stuff like that. You know that there was a big whatever with Berlanga, and then Berlanga goes in there and he has that performance with Canelo and then gets stopped by Hamza. So it's like, yeah, we like you, bro. We mess with you hard body, but we keeping it close to the chest right now, you know. It's in that inside jacket pocket, but it's there. It's on us. It's on us. It's like a Metro card. You know, I may have cash to take a cab, but I keep a Metro card on me, you know, for them emergencies, and I never leave home without it. So with that being said, Hitchins has everything. Out here, he has that respect, but it's like a quiet storm. Watch when he gets that big breakout, step out fight. His name is going to be the type of thing people won't be able to keep out their mouth. Then everything this man has been talking about is about, if all y'all like Devin Haney, how can you not be a Richard Hitchison fan? And when he said it to me and I kind of looked at it, I was like, you know what, bro, you can't be fucking with me like that, man. I fucks with you hard body, but you can't put me on the spot and ask me a question like that, because then you make me have a certain question and make me feel a certain way, so to speak. And I'm joking about that in the sense of saying, yeah, why is that, Mike? His name is Mike. My name is Mike too, by the way. And I'm saying to myself, Mike, yes, why is that? I don't know. How did you let that go by? I don't know. Bro, come on, man. You slipping. Yeah, you right, but, you know, shit happens. So these are like internal conversations I would have with myself about why it was. And then when it came down to certain things, I'm not going to lie. What fight I didn't agree with you on that he was going to win? Who was that?
Liam Paro?
Yeah, the Liam Paro fight. I did not pick him to beat Liam Paro. But when he beat Liam Paro, I was like, oh shit, yeah, word. Yeah. Okay, enough said. Enough said. Enough said. Let me start really looking at this dude. Let me start really paying attention to him, because it's hard not to, especially when you feel like you're riding out with the homie, and the homie always drop in, you know, that the Richard Hitchins freestyle tape. And you like, bro, I've been listening to you play this jump off for a minute. I didn't know this dude was that nice. And you like, yeah, I've been trying to tell you, bro. That's why I mess with him. So
But see, this the thing though. See, I'm like calculated in everything that I do, especially when it comes to like this boxing talk and like in the sport, because like I noticed, because Saburo was a bad boy, right? And he fought a guy from out here in Baltimore, the Iceman, Malik Hawkins. And he put some work in on him. And I seen Richardson Hitchins fight Malik Hawkins too. He put some work in on him. But Malik Hawkins was nice. Like if he would have had, I believe that if he would have had, if he wasn't out here, man, in these Baltimore streets, if he wasn't from this environment, man, Malik Hawkins would have been like, he would be a household name. He would be, I ain't gonna say he would be where Tank is at, not necessarily, but like he'll be in the runnings. He'll be up there. He would have been up there. Like if he would have had, I think if he would have been insulated and he would have got the support, and he would have been like almost like their pro box situation, like how how they did with JoJo. If he would have got in that environment where he didn't have to worry about his bills being paid and he could just be in a like insulated like that and just train and live like how Najee Lopez lived in that gym and he trained there and he, you know what I'm saying, he could just focus. That's how Malik Hawkins would have been. But I seen Richardson Hitchins do that, and I was like, man, homie, nice. I'm like, how come? I started looking. I started saying, man, why Floyd ain't really promoting him? Cause like per boxing wise, his form and all that. I was like, man, this dude nice. He's sharp. You know what I'm saying? Then I seen like he was getting drops. He was getting drops whenever I saw him. Like he was dropping his opponent at least every fight. He was dropping him at least once. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, how come he didn't? And then I started saying, well, damn, why Floyd wasn't promoting him? I was like, man, I don't want him to fall by the wayside. Another talent, because it's plenty of people. Jaleel Hackett got shelved over there. It's a little short dude. I don't think I wasn't as big on him, but I don't know, because inactivity kind of do that. If you ain't using it, you lose it. They say if you don't lose it, you use it. I mean, if you don't use it, you lose it. So I don't know if that was, but it was a short guy that was over there with him. He wound up getting with like the Misfits or something like that. And he was talking about it. He was like, man, I need dates. Like there ain't no dates. So it was like a clog in the pipeline. It was like the hot thing. It was like getting signed to Rockefeller, but then your album ain't, like you got the chain, but then your album never coming out. And that's how it was at TMT, like over there with TMT. Tank blew, Badu Jack blew, Rolly got some shine. Outside of that, I mean, you got the young Joseph Brown. I'm hoping, like, but he got a good father. I think his father is kind of, he's going to be amicable. If it don't take off, if it don't do what it need to do, he's probably going to be able to, you know what I'm saying, talk right and, you know what I'm saying, move right, and ain't going to be no animosity, you know what I'm saying, none of that. But Eddie took a bet on, he took a gamble on Richardson Hitchins, and it paid off big. Why? Because of the pedigree. Yeah, like he's a pure boxer. He's talented, and I can't get off into what he looked like. I can't get off into like that he got a Haitian background. I can't get off into that. What I can get off into is the things that I admire in a boxer. Like when I look at your record, and you didn't go down to some obscure country and get like your first 20 fights in Mexico or some shit. Like that's one thing. But if you got it out the mud, first of all, I know that per capita is just like Baltimore and New York, Baltimore, these places where people are living like, and then Philly, places where people are all on top of each other, to where you got to do more than just be able to box. You got to be able to shoot. You got to be able to play football. You got to be able to like dribble a basketball. Like you got to be able to do a whole lot, run track. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be talented all the way around. So when you come out of them places, like unscathed, not beating the head, that's why I think a lot of people don't get out of Philly that much. A lot of people don't get out of Baltimore that much. Because all they do is take one bad day, somebody going there, y'all doing drills, and they say, all right, we working on this. And somebody just like, nah, fuck that, I'm working on this. You know what I'm saying? It's over. You know, but to come out of New York like that, unscathed, to rise like that, to do that, okay, I gotta look at it. And then when I look at your record, you never fought a guy with an upside down record. I mean, they didn't throw you these guys that was like 2-59 or 2-11. Like the worst you might have got was 2-0 or 1-1. But everybody else, it was always like 13. It was always like 13-6 or 22-3 or and the whole way in the weight class that you should have been. You didn't come in and do what Bud did. You didn't come in and do what Devin did. You didn't come in and do what Shakur did. You didn't come in and do what a lot of these cats do, where they come in and they drop down and then they work their way up. You came in where you should have been. And now it might be time for you to go ahead and move up, but you came in where you were supposed to be. You always never fought somebody with an upside down record. You know what I'm saying? And then when you go get your title, you go do it through the IBF, where it's the rehydration of 10 pounds. It's like, those are things where I don't give a fuck if you look like Craig Mack mixed with Biggie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, what can I say? Like, that's pure boxing stuff. Yeah. So when you do that kind of stuff, and you wasn't fast track, you didn't get fast track like Abdullah. You didn't get the Keyshawn Davis treatment where he can pick, choose, and refuse. You didn't get the world put at your feet. You didn't get the Edgar Berlanga treatment. You didn't get the top rank diet. You got I'm going to get in where I can fit in. And you almost got shelved in 2 places. And even when you was over there on Matchroom, when you went over there, they circumvented you in a ways because it was never a contract. As much as we want to say, like, people got to be like, I just don't like them. It's just something about them I just don't like. But it ain't got nothing to do with boxing, which is why I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I can't get down. You know what I'm saying? I think that I'm not here for how these guys look. I'm not here for where these guys are from. I'm here from what these guys are doing and what's going to help out the sport. Now, if you told me your favorite fighter, like if Shakur was doing shit like that, the way he was going for a unification, right? And he was taking the action, like if he would have did that shit, and like I would have to be doing some videos about Tank. Like, Tank, why you get in the ring with him and say you was gonna fight him and you didn't? The same way I would have been doing videos about T.O., but I wasn't doing videos for T.O. at this point in time. But I would have had the same questions. So if Shakur got in there and stopped somebody to the body and said, hey man, yeah, Tank, come up here, get in the ring. Hey y'all, this is what y'all want to see. I will be doing mad videos about why Tank ain't doing that. So it ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Well, that's how I see it.
Well, that's where I was alluding to earlier in the fact that that scenario, it reads a certain way, but it also exposes some things that if you're looking at it, you just ask the right question. Tio, regardless of the Turk, why didn't you still say, you know what, Bob? I don't care. Make the fight.
Bingo. So I'm glad you said it, because also the same thing that Tank did, because Roach decided to move up from 30 to go to 35. We aren't getting any of that conversation. Yeah. Like with him accepting with him accepting Shakur moving up, everybody just putting that. So all that whole talking point about, oh no, a guy moving up and all that talking point is null and void. But then T.O. did not make a unification happen. You know what I'm saying? And he would have been, you would say that T.O. would be the A side, but there are no videos doing that. That's my issue. There are no videos coming at T.O. about that. Either one of them actions, him not doing the unifications with Hitchins and him pulling Shakur up. It ain't the same narrative. It's just a whole bunch of people that whenever Africa come up, they shitting on him.
Yeah. And this is where, in one sense, if we was to bring that up in a conversation and you're saying, all right, I get it, it's a great fight, both of them doing whatever, but if you look at it, just look at it on face value, you'll have some questions there. Like, why? Could be coincidence. But why did it seem as though when Gary Russell came up and Abdullah is getting his title, getting his shot at his title, you move up to 140? But you don't plan on staying there, according to you. So what's the need for the move? That's just one question. On the other side of the question
Where's the urgency?
Yeah.
Where the urgency come from?
Yeah. The other side of the coin is for the other guy involved. Regardless of anything, that was a unification. Why didn't you tell Bob, I want that unification to fight a guy that has no hardware and is only bringing in, he won't have any hardware at that weight class. He has hardware where he's at, but he's bringing more of accolades and something where they're telling us now he's the number one guy, but we're asking, compared to the other guy that's down at 135, what did you do to surpass him? Explain that to me. So the fight itself, once you put it under a microscope, you looking at it like, hey, come here. This looks strange. Look at this. Just look at this. Look at how these two things are reacting with each other. Have you ever seen anything like that? No. And then you just have to speak on it. So, and start to write your paper, your thesis, your theories, and everything else. You're going to start to take notes on it. Once you start to take those notes, you're going to be like, man, something looks strange, bruh. Something look really, really strange. Like this is a matter of convenience. Because everybody is threatened right now. Everybody was threatened. Because it messes up a lot of dynamics. Hitchins beats you, Keyshawn is in line. We've seen, or I've seen, the sparring matches, well, the short clip of the sparring match, you know, where in that clip, they may try to say they were both putting in work, but I clearly seen one guy getting hit with shots that I was like, oh, whoa, wow, okay. So you'll kind of get a feel of how that fight would go to a certain degree, and you can see the other guy getting hyped every time he cracked him because he would say something. Yeah, getting in that work. We getting in that work, yeah, but he punching you in your face, solid. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, wow, okay. So when you look at the situation, it's a matter of, in my opinion, right now, I appreciate the fight, I like the fight, but it's under a microscope, it looks a lot different.
It's funny in the light, but it's funny in the light, but that's just one of the examples. I brought up this guy because if we go to this is what confuses me, and these are things that never considered. Like these are things that never considered. People bringing up the Gustavo Lemos, like. If you will see that, like, but we are always robbed of these opportunities, right? And this is just where people just lose me. We're not going to agree on this, Melazar. We're just not. But this is the point. We're never going to see Devin Haney where he gets into a fight and he can only rehydrate 10 pounds after he make that weight. We're never going to see it, because if we did, guess what's going to happen? That shit, that right? If he would have had to do that against Ryan,
he got murdered.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's we're never going to see. We're never going to see that with. Well, we might see it with. We might see it with this guy. We might see it with this guy. But guess what? Like we haven't seen this guy. We haven't seen this guy do it. We didn't even see we did. We seen T.O. do it, but T.O. did it. He showed it against Richard Coleman.
Yeah.
With the IBF. But like it's real odd that people want to pick and choose the performance that he did with Gustavo Lemos, where Gustavo Lemos knew that if he won that fight, he was gonna get a title. People do get up for fights. And if you're doing it with a 10-pound rehydration, well, you can't, like, for the first time, you can't rehydrate the way you want, and then you didn't have a nutritionist to get down. So everybody go through it. That's why you hear more and more boxers say, "Oh yeah, I got a nutritionist for this one." Like I was trying to make weight way wrong. I went about it the wrong way. Like with the right food, I don't even have to do much. All I got to do is eat this way, and it's going to happen. Like I was doing it, you know what I'm saying, the hard way. You know what I'm saying? But we judge a performance like that, but then we give somebody, and see, guess what? When Jermaine Ortiz fought Teofimo Lopez, we say, okay, probably won, but he didn't get the nod. When Jermaine Ortiz fought Loma, some people say they had Jermaine Ortiz beat Loma. He didn't get the nod. If there is no fan base and there is nobody that caters to Richardson Hitchins when he fought Gustavo Lemos, who has a whole country, just like Brian Castaño, another Argentinian, right? Why didn't he get the nod if he really won? Because he really didn't win. You just don't like him.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But he did it under IBF, and guess what? Right after that, where Gustavo Lemos was at 40, right after that, Keyshawn brings him down to 35. He's undisciplined and missed weight, and he gets all of the credit in the world for stopping him. Like, that don't make no sense. Like, it don't make no sense. Like, but it's a double standard. Like, but Keyshawn is a star because he was fast tracked, put on a top ranked diet. You know what I'm saying? Given the keys to the palace to be able to perform right at home in VA. His buddies where he don't have no pressure and can spar with Bud and Shakur and all these dudes, and he implodes. He gets no flack, but he gets all of the credit, and people shit on Richardson and Hitchins. If you just don't like somebody, you just don't like somebody. But there is a double standard because Keyshawn was giving everything, and look what happened. The same thing Tank said. You motherfuckers wouldn't even know how to handle shit if y'all got to stardom. And guess what happened? His 15 minutes of fame looked like 11.
Yeah.
11 minutes. It wasn't even a full 15 minutes. That light got so bright and he imploded. And he had everything. He didn't have the Bud. He didn't have, according to the story that all the Terrence Bud only fans say, where they wouldn't let him play in any reindeer games. He had the keys to the palace, the keys to the city. The mayor came out, Mike Vick, all of them. Nobody says nothing. And he's big. He's welterweight size. That's why he's at 40 now. Nobody says nothing.
Yeah, and
it's clear when people have a bias and they just don't like somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and for me, as boxing fans, you know, every once in a while you gotta, in especially if I'm speaking to other content creators, every once in a while you have to step out your comfort zone and highlight the guys, the really, really good guys that are in the dark. Because imagine if social media existed at the time of Black Murderers Row. We would be talking about those other dudes, those other really, really, really real killers that were featured in the early Ring magazine, or even the whatever it was, the Police Gazette, the magazine that existed before the Ring, that was just more concerned with the lineal, not the NBA champions or any of the so-called sanctioned and body champions. These, between the Ring and the Police Gazette, I think that's what it's called. Was called. These guys always had the longest running record of who was the lineal champion, the guy who beat the guy who beat the guy who beat the guy. You know what I'm saying? So when you're looking at these type of situations and you're looking at these fighters and you're saying to yourself, all right, if you want to prove yourself to be that dude, then you'll look at it from a certain perspective to say, all right, I'll let you move me like this to a certain degree. But in between some of these joints, can you at least give me a couple of the 50-50 fights? Give me a fight that makes me want to get up and get into it. You know what I'm saying? Because there are other guys that are just as tough as me that I would love to fight, but they may never get the opportunity because they don't have this machine behind them. But I want to bring that guy on stage because I know he'll bring the best out of me. Mm-hmm. The fighters who are in that position, to a certain degree, are not asking for it. They're asking for it, but within the scope of the guys who also have a name. Like, I'm kind of tripping out, and I'm kind of tripping out, and this is just an example. Who's the guy that I'm brain farting on his name? The guy that's getting ready to unify with Xander Zayas.
Abbas Baru.
Yeah, Abbas Baru.
Mm-hmm.
Until Abbas Baru beat Yoenis Tellus, I've never heard of the guy. But everything I'm hearing from even Xander and other people in the industry, they're like, he's tough. He's coming to fight. This is not a Usama Lima type of thing. That, in my opinion, that happened with Boots. I think there's some real credibility behind some of the hype that they're giving Abbas Baruch. So,
I think he was an Olympian.
Yeah, and that's basically what I'm saying. And when you look at a guy like Xander, I may have had an opinion about Xander prior to that, but I got to give him that old school nod on that move. He said, "I want to unify. I don't want an easy touch and knock off one of these guys that's my mandatory or somebody that's just ranked in the top 6, but don't nobody really know. And he's 12-0, but he done fought. He's 12-0 in a domestic sense. Yeah, that's gonna be a cakewalk. So I don't want that. Give me Abbas Baruch.
Mm-hmm.
There's the rumors around Abbas. There's a lot of talk around Abbas. He's got that belt. He showed up and showed out. He still ain't got that recognition. You know what? Put me in Abbas there, because I think Abbas is gonna bring out something in me that's gonna put me where I feel I want to be, as stepping away and stepping in front of all the other champions. Even these other two guys that they trying to, tell us that their fight is more relevant than my unification. And I'm like, you niggas is crazy. I'm gonna show y'all. So I got a lot of respect in that sense. Now, going back down to Hitchins just hasn't had that opportunity yet. He hasn't found his Abbas Baruch. You know what I'm saying? It should have been with Tio. And speaking to what you were saying earlier about Gary Antoine, okay, Gary, for the same things you're saying about him, why haven't you been saying things about Richardson? I'm not really hearing a lot of talk about a lot of things where you calling out Hitchins and saying I want to make a fight. I did hear some other chatter between other people, and then you did come out and you said that your stuff about you and Tio. So you're already having that mindset that I got to give Tio credit for. We're talking to the weird Versace dude. In the fact of saying, listen, you got the wrong mindset. There is no friends in boxing.
Yeah.
All you guys with that type of mindset, it's making me question whether you really feel you're him, or is it something else? You're trying to convince yourself. And that's why when he said that, it like what he did, I'm not gonna lie, it was done in layers, and I find it a brilliant marketing strategy because it leaves you with all of these little nuances. Earlier on, you come out in the first public joint, and you got the book and the notebook. And then when the dude asked you what's going on over there, you said just a little introspection. Then you in this conversation with Shakur, where you're bringing in introspection. Like, bro, how can you say X, Y, and Z when you talking about this dude's your brother and your friend and y'all been through the mud? That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's bullshit. So
that's true.
You look at it, he was just setting traps that he can piggyback off of at the right time. And he's telling Shakur, you haven't been on this level. And he's already showing you that just from that, you're not on that level. And it's a bit different than the whole Brian Norman and Devin Haney thing. Because this guy is actually proven. He's a 2-division lineal champion. He should have the recognition of being undisputed at 35, being the first guy that was undisputed at 35. But Loma robbed him of that. And Mauricio Suleiman helped Loma rob him of that. because you fought for a designation, and rightfully so. You said if this belt is higher than that, then I should be undisputed. Yes, no?
They announced it. Go back. I'll be asking people, go back and watch the fight. Listen to what they announced when they called the fight. Like when they call it. Like listen, go back and watch. Like go back and look at the fight. That's why I know people don't be watching boxing. Go back and look at the fight. Go back and look at the fight. But listen to what they say. Listen to how they announced the fight. Listen to what it was advertised as. Look like before, like right before the fight, all of the commentary, like how they announced it, what they were saying. They just thought that they didn't like the results.
Yeah.
So, you know, because they didn't think the young boy was going to do it, and they thought that okay, their golden boy in Loma was going to ride off. That didn't happen. So yeah, they was quick to say, oh well, you know, he wasn't really, because that's how that shit got started. They didn't like the result. But going back to your point, a great point was that there's friends in boxing. This is what I'm trying to say. If we rewind all the way back to Gary Antoine, it's like I asked the question earlier. I said, well, where's the contract? Like, and Gary Antoine is one of my guys, but I'm like, you can't let your fans do your bidding for you. And like, we can't be acting like all of a sudden we be acting like promotional companies don't exist, sides of the street don't exist, especially when one person with Turkey, one person not with Turkey, one person is all this. It's like we conveniently pick and choose when we want to acknowledge that. So if you feel like you meat and potatoes, you like in the mess hall with your chest out, where is the offer? Outside of that, it's just you. And outside of that, it was like you were being an opportunist because you know that the market online, especially on YouTube, it don't favor Richardson. So you can get out there and say something, or you can get on McDonald's. You can go to McDonald's network and do one of them hot takes that you do where he'll sizzle up some shit and have everybody talking because of something spicy you said in the interview. And then you ain't got to do nothing. All you got to do is set it. I don't respect that.
Yeah.
Because if you was really real about a fight, because, I mean, we don't hear nothing. Andy Hirioka, he didn't have to say, like, all he had to do was be the mandatory and move up. And be in line. There wasn't no, oh, well, no. It was nothing but respect. Like, so I don't like that. Like, I don't like that. And then, the friends thing, because that was the first thing when I couldn't wait to hear Mr. Gary had more of the mindset. When I heard from Mr. Gary back during that time, he had more of the mindset that I was thinking when I heard from Gary Antoine when T.O. was saying all those, banana things and all that. Like Gary Antoine was more dismissive, like, nah, I'm gonna talk to him, I'm gonna do this. But there was never no talks about unification. The only solace I have in that is that he said, ultimately, I want all of the titles, all of the belts. So we're going to have to fight. But it wasn't like, it's not a priority. So I'm like, if he was trying to go get something, if he had his eyes on somebody, it's almost like you was playing interference. Because if he had his eyes on somebody and he had him in his crosshairs, he already had the guy with the bag saying, we're going to do this in Alcatraz. It's almost like you running interference where he ran the race that got him there. It's like you ran the race that got you a title shot, you lost, and then you double back and then got another one. He's running his own race over here. Y'all not even on the same promotional company. Like y'all not even, and if you feel like that, then somebody would have reached out to Turk, or was it supposed to be on him? Because like today's day and time, like Shakur, he have people like this. Like these gatekeepers, they'll come out and they'll do all the gatekeeping, they'll do all the promotion. People will get out online, they'll do the arguments for you. So in today's day and time, some of these boxers know all I gotta do is say this out in this interview. The fans are gonna do the rest. It's like, but it's not logical. It's like, who's making this happen? Like, there's no accountability. We let Shakur do the whole friend thing. He tried to do it with Abdullah. Abdullah like, nah. Fight. Every name you in, I know I'm fighting. It ain't no friends. I got brothers. I got my own set of brothers. I'm not here to make friends and family. I already got it. And then knowing that, this is what's wild. knowing that him and Richardson Hitchins are fairly cool, and if it was three of them, Keyshawn, Shakur, and Richardson Hitchins is the odd man out because y'all are Batman and Robin, you and Keyshawn. But if you move up and you get a title, we know you ain't gonna go fight no Richardson Hitchins because y'all cool. So I'm like, how long are we gonna allow this bullshit?
Yeah, and here's the funny thing. When you were saying what Gary Antoine Russell did, it was, to me, I gave it a title. I said he pulled the Tom Clancy. And if you fucks with the Tom Clancy books, novels, and stuff like that, you know the guy that works for the agency who's contracted to take somebody out. He been laying on the roof for a couple of days. Homeboy been trying to figure out on the opposite side where this thing gonna take place. And it's like, yeah, he gonna be here. So when he come out that bank, we gotta find the points of where the shooter's gonna be, where the most likely part. So when he had him in the crosshair, he took that breath. That's when you heard the and got the gun to his head, and he's like, "You can't. I can't let you take that shot." And he's like, "I have to. I can't let you do it." He's like, "It's the right thing to do, and you know it, but I can't just let you do it because there are lives at stake, and the people I work for are not gonna allow this." So that's basically, in my opinion, that's what happened. He pulled the Tom Clancy. So you can be, to some people, they could look at it one way. To other people, they can look at it as, yeah, in hindsight, that move that Gary Antoine pulled was proper because now we get to see the biggest fight in boxing right now. A fight that we was probably thinking of at 35, but you couldn't have thought it at 35 because Shakur was never at 35 at the same time Tio was at 35. So this is within the scope of them talking about, yeah, one day we could meet up. And then then the weirdos are gonna say, yeah, but it made the room for the biggest fight in boxing to happen, and that's Shakur versus Tio. Okay, yeah, I get that. But now here, I took a drop of that mixture, put it on this slide, and I want you to look at it under this electron microscope and tell me what you see. Yeah, I see that, but that don't matter. Yeah, you're right. It don't matter. Not with the vision you have, or looking at it through them glasses that you have. None of this shit matters. And to the rest of the boxing world, they're probably on the same exact page. But for those of us that just want to point this out, have an intellectual conversation about it, and say, okay, we know how this thing happened because there was some interference that allowed this thing to happen on many different sides. And yeah, the shooter, he went AWOL for a hot second. He went rogue for a hot second, where the agency looked at him and said, I'm telling you, don't go after it. And he's like, I hear you, Chief, but I gotta do it. And they're like, you go ahead and do it, you're gonna be on suspension. And you went ahead and did it, and now the chief said, I told you, now give me your badge and your gun. You just gonna sit this one out for a little bit. We're gonna make you sweat. And then they sent your boy back in there like, listen, man, the agency is different. It's not the same, going on these missions and things like that. It's not the same. We need you back. You're one of the best. And you're like, I can't go back. It's like, all you gotta do is play the game, play ball. And he's like, if you want that revenge and you want to get that get back and you want to be where you want to be, you got to learn how to play ball. And that's the OG sniper that they're about to take him out. And that's what hopefully fuels you to follow through and do what you got to do. And that's the way I look at that's kind of the best way I can look at the Hitchins situation and try to formulate all the moving pieces to where I can simplify it. Once I feel I can simplify it, I feel like now I have it simplified, and you have to overcomplicate it in your explanation, then you don't really got it. And that's where I land the plane on that one.
I think that's a good point. I think that I think they both thought about it. I think Eddie had a chance to think about it. He did see that, okay, well, look, hold on, man. I'm about to let a dude walk out the door with a belt. Yeah, I could have him go. I could let him leave and go somewhere else. But if the wrong person get that strap, then that's a chess piece. And I heard somebody use this the other day. I'm like, damn, man, this shit be far reaching. I said a while ago that these guys are like commodities. You know what I'm saying? And maybe he wasn't as high on his commodity because his head was so, far stuck up somebody else's ass. I mean, this is the same guy that had Andy Cruz and Shakur Stevenson and had Boots and Conor Ben. And there was never a discussion. It was almost like an unwritten rule, like, don't bring it up. This the same guy. So it's like talking to Melazar right now about this. It's like he don't understand that, like, it was never in the plans for Richardson and Hitchins to fight Subriel Matias. I was gunning for it. I was asking for it. Like, you got to be in tune with how these promoters move. If it's not in their best interest, it was never in the plans. They moved it to where Leon Paro got the opportunity, and then they thought, looking at Eddie, he thought Leon Paro was going to beat Richardson and Hitchins. That's the Santillan Brian Norman thing all over again. It's just that he got his head up somebody else's ass so far because that was his Australian stud. There was never if it was in the plans for Subriel Matias to fight Richardson Hitchins, they would have fought.
Yeah, and I gotta say this.
Let me conclude with one thing. It's just like if they really wanted Loma and Shakur to fight, they would have fought. Why? It was on the same island. Like, because guess what? Loma fought Tio, right? Loma fought Jermaine Ortiz. Tio fought Jermaine Ortiz. Shakur had a contract Jermaine Ortiz had a contract for Shakur. Like, that's what I be trying to say. If you want to talk about business wise, if it's in the plans and the fighter wants to do that, it's going to happen. I could do these triangles all day to where in the business and it was in the plans and they was on the same side of the street, so it definitely happened. If it didn't happen, it's because it was never in the plans. Like, that was never in the plans for Matchroom to let them fight. If it was, they would have fought.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, since all three of us was on Pop's channel, and going into that fight where we was picking up against Hitchins, that Subriel conversation was coming up, and you still addressed it the same way. You feel what I'm saying? I gotta give you your props on that, because I don't know if Malazar even knew about Pop a Lot of Smoke's channel back then. This man was consistent with that, and he was consistent in that when we would bring up the Hitchins and Subriel situation, because honestly, it did look like he was avoiding him. From many fans who were still looking at him with some sort of skepticism. It was still like, I don't know, I hear what you're saying, bro, but the appearance of it still looked that way. I mean, he's gotta clean that up by doing something spectacular. And then he goes out and does it. Go ahead.
But see, when you gotta look at it, like, it's just like when Subriel came out, he called Tio out, He called Devin out. He called Rolly out.
Yeah.
All at the same time.
Yeah.
He didn't get any of those fights.
No.
So the game plan for Eddie was to get that strap up off of that dude. And Liam Paul was the guy who was able to do it because he saw what he did to Montana Love, and then he went in there and he disarmed Subriel. Once that happened, it was a wrap. Like he was done. He was done out the door. Subriel had to double back and do the same thing. He had to do the same thing that Gary Antoine had to do, except for Gary Antoine didn't have a strap and get relieved of one. He just got another opportunity. So they both had to go back to the table and go get it another route. Because he would have still had, it would have been very hard, like, because what would have happened was Gary Antoine would have had that WBC still if he would have got that nod. So now he got the WBA, which the WBC is the same one that Shakur had. But it was never, those was never in the plans. Like you can try to but that's why I say stuff like what Melazar is saying is because they've heard it, they've seen it, they've seen all these different things, all these different people talking about it, all this stuff. So you can't convince them otherwise.
Yeah,
it's
but I was just gonna say, I saw three different interviews where Hitchins broke down that whole situation, and when you hear how he broke the whole situation down and talking about his performance prior to that, you like, okay, cool, bro. All right. I just want to see how you move in the whatever. Then he does his thing, and then he has that great performance against Kambosos, and then it's just like, yeah, okay. So what you said was for real. You talking about it and you living it. So that's all I need to see, bro. That's all I need to see. I just hope that moving forward, he starts to understand the business side of it. You feel what I'm saying? And can get himself in position to get a big name that's a legitimate young big name, and that could be his breakout fight.
He got it. Look, this is what he got. This is where I'm getting at. He got it. It's right here. I'm gonna show you.
Yeah.
He got it. Like so skills pay the bills. So that's gonna be the litmus test. That's gonna be the GPS fight. He had not got that opportunity. And and let me see. Did he?
So let me ask you a question. You think Keyshawn takes the fight?
You saw what I saw, right?
Yeah.
That energy was a little different. Like I was looking at facial expressions. I was like, I'm not gonna read too much into it, but I'm like, and then he still talk about we got to do it in Norfolk. I was like, man, what you saying, man? The handshake ain't matching the smile. Man. I'm like, hey, Richardson is like, he's all up in your face. He's talking cash money. Like you talk about, it gotta be in VA. We gonna do it in VA and all this. Like, man, listen, bro. I'm just saying you gonna fight. You gonna fight, bro. You saying everything, but all right, because you kind of like in the doghouse. Like you don't got a leg to stand on, and I'm the champ. But the energy wasn't the same, and I told you why. It's the same reason why we probably never going to see Keyshawn and Shakur. The same reason why we're probably never going to see Keyshawn and Andy Cruz. And unless Keyshawn really jump off the pot, we ain't gonna see him against Richardson Hitchins. Why? Because his kryptonite are the skilled technical boxers. I said it, it's no mystery. It's like it's no mystery. Like those are the guys that's gonna give them problems, you know what I'm saying? But if you're a come forward fighter, you want to thug it out, you want to dog it out, you ain't gonna be giving him too much footwork and all that, because if you look at it, he really ain't a knockout artist like that. He's really not. I mean, when you look at it by the record, he let a lot of people off the hook. Like, it's a lot of people off the hook. I think he already let 4 people off the hook already. You know what I'm saying? Like, at this stage with the competition with people that already been stopped, Pedraza, and this is what I don't like. Everybody say, oh, Camboza. But Loma got credit for stopping Cambozas.
Yeah.
Devin got credit for beating him twice. And he had all the advantages. Other than fighting in his own backyard, that was like the only advantage Cambozas had. Fighting in his own backyard. But he get the credit for it. Richardson can't get no credit for it. But guess what? Devin got credit for Gamboa right after Tank stopped him in the 11th round, and he popped his Achilles in that fight. The very next fight, Devin gets credit for him. Didn't stop him at all. Had a clinch fest. Didn't even knock him down. But he get credit with a pelt on the wall with Gamboa. But Richardson and Hitchins don't get no credit for Camboza and the fact that he was moving up. But you give, but in the same breath, you give Keyshawn credit for Gustavo Lemos, who just lost and had to move down after the fight. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
come on, bro. Like, it don't make no. That's another thing. I'm not gonna be moving the goalposts for this because people love to do this. Like when this weekend when Tito Mercado stopped the shit out of Antonio Moran, I'm giving him full credit, even though that's the same guy that Devin years ago got the knockout of the year on. I'm giving him full credit. Why? Because if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. We're not gonna sit up here and pick and choose. Keyshawn got full credit for that Pedraza. You know who was the first person to fuck Pedraza up? Tank. And they don't even give him no credit for it. That's when he was that guy. He don't get no credit for that. Tank don't get no credit for stopping Rolly. Tank don't get no credit for stopping Mario Barrios. But motherfuckers is getting ready to win belts off of him. So I'm not moving the goalposts for these people. Like, I'm giving them all credit. Like, if you get one of these old ass dudes, one of these long in the tooth ass dudes, because I want Jamel Charlo to fight Boots right now.
Yeah.
They quiet on that. They won't even because they know that might be an ass whooping. But it's crazy when the Chris Algieri's of the world, the Adrian Broners of the world, I think if Paulie decided to glove up there, try to take him down through there. Hell, Boots was trying to take Sean Porter down through there. He wasn't too long in the tooth. But now Jamel Charlo too long in the tooth. So we pick and choose when we want to give credit. And they pick and choose which pelt they want to give credit to. It's just like anybody that would be trying to take credit away from what Frank was able to do with Barthélemy. I'm not. He was a little long in the tooth, but hey, he was a formidable guy. I'm not gonna do it, but like that's what we do as fans. We pick and choose when there's somebody that's older. It's just like Devin. Devin get credit for beating that washed Jose Ramirez, who just got washed by Arnold Barboza. And we seen what Tio did to Arnold Barboza. Like, come on, man. We got to knock it off as fans, man. We're not going to pick and choose who we give credit for, especially coming off of losses and moving up and down in weights.
Yeah.
Like, that's being hypocritical. I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can do it, but like it'll just be a conversation we not going to agree on. It'll be standards that we just not going to agree on. But if we keeping it like I do it, where I keep it straight down the middle, put them all on the scale and weigh it all accordingly and take everything in consideration. I use apples to apples and oranges to oranges type comparisons. I don't pick and choose because I don't favor nobody. Like I gave Devin full credit for taking that fight, and I ate crow when he did what he did to Brian Norman. I didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to take away from him and do what we should be doing because they said that he was a cherry pick. They said that he didn't deserve to breathe the same air as Devin. Like it's levels and he ain't experienced and all. Like they said, if I would have believed that, Devin wouldn't get no credit. Why? Because he was actually bigger than the guy. He was bigger than that dude at welterweight. He should be up there where Boots is at.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know, man. I had to put this stake in the ground, AC, man, and put this out here so that, just like all my other pieces, man, I got some old pieces, man. They age like my pound for pound list. I ain't did it in 2 years. I did it the year before last. My pound for pound list is still standing tall. Don't have to change it. Why? Because the way I judge boxing, I might have to move I might have to move 2 slots on that thing. Other than that, it's right.
Yeah.
It's the same. Like the people that's on the pound, people who just got on people pound for pound list, I already had them on there. But there's one dude that ain't on there but they got another dude on there, and they're gonna say that he the best thing since sliced bread if he beat this dude. And guess who that happened to be? Shakur and Teofimo Lopez, where they don't have T.O. even on there. But my pound for pound list is what it is because I don't get all caught up in all this other and judge with my emotions. I judge by what I see and what people were actually able to do in the standard of standard. You know what I'm saying? I don't got to change.
Yeah.
But I had to do that, man. I had to put this stake in the ground for Richardson, man. So in the future, when we go back and we look at that, we can be like, oh, okay. Now he still got to fight the fights. He got to show up. He could choke under the big bright lights. He could, but I got to give him full credit, and we got to evaluate where he was, what he did, the state of boxing, and how everybody else got moved and pushed, and all these people that just glowingly open their arms for Keyshawn. For doing what? He got spanked by Andy Cruz, and it's a sin to mention Andy Cruz, but Andy Cruz get to walk around saying that that's his daddy. We can't even ask him to do that. When we tried to ask him to fight Frank Martin, he was like, oh, man, what Frank Martin? Nah, man, Frank got to do something. He ran around so we couldn't ask him for Frank Martin. We couldn't ask him for Andy Cruz. He was best friends with Shakur, but everybody loved Keyshawn. He got up there, he was getting ready to fight De Los Santos, and he was getting ready to weight bully the shit out of him. But we give him credit for Gustavo Lemos. We give him credit for Baranchek, who beat Navarrete, who was really a weight bully. Like, man, make it make sense. It don't. You know what I'm saying?
No, it doesn't. And where I started questioning him, it was, I think it was a couple of fights maybe before he got his belt, and I was rocking with him hard body and things like that, and then there was some things that just made me like really look at him and things like that. And when I started to ask the question and then asking myself, okay, something's got to be wrong here. Something's definitely got to be wrong here, because if the talking points that you're saying he's got to do something for you, Keyshawn, you're saying Andy Cruz has to do something, and at that time he only had maybe 4 fights in. How does Abdullah Mason and Andy Cruz wind up in the same sentences in the same circle of talking as threats to you? And we're not talking threats to you like 2-3 years from now. We're talking threats to you like right now. Like right now. Based on the performance we were seeing from Abdullah, and then, how he's talking in his appetite for smoking, then you hear that he's not running with the Shakur and Keyshawn Brotherhood committee and stuff like that. He started to separate himself and saying, listen, I'm gonna have to fight you, dude, so I'm not trying to be your friends. So when you looked at it, for me, that's where I was like, whoa. Let's kind of pump the brakes on Key for a minute. I still rocks with you, bro, but I'm trying to ask you, how did we get on this road right here? Where it's got the double yellow line, or it's got 2 lines, one on the left and one on the right. One on this side is Andy Cruz. The other one on this side is Abdullah Mason. And you just got speed bumps ahead, but you won't stop and say, I'm ready to step over the line for one of these dudes. But I'd rather just keep plotting forward and slowly taking it over these speed bumps that my GPS is actually picking up for me. So that's when I was like, yeah, I got to really start to look at Keyshawn right now, and I got to like really look at those fights, because These guys shouldn't be. They shouldn't be within the same talking point circle. These guys shouldn't be a threat to you right now.
Listen. What would Abdullah Mason do to Nair Albright?
He will destroy. Oh,
exactly. So why? Why were we hearing about Keyshawn wanting to fight Nair Albright again? So what's the dude that he went the distance with? It got overturned because he was down in Texas and he had the ganja in his system because he didn't know the rules. So why would he? Andy Cruz wasn't deserving of anything because he hasn't done anything in the pros, even though he was the one that stopped you from getting gold.
Yeah.
Right? He waxed you 4 times. But Nair Albright, you want to fight him, you giving him 2 opportunities? But what about a Frank Martin? And then, like, from what I've seen, y'all can be the judge. But go back and look at that. Go back and look at that clip that they about to promote, or they really about to start pushing with Hitchins, with the confrontation with Hitchins and Keyshawn. Look at his face. Look at his body language. Look at the points that he choose to talk about and what he want. All he keep talking about is they got to be in Norfolk. It's like, dude, come on, bro. You done fought in the Olympics, bro. Like, you know, favoritism is favoritism. Like, until he proved me otherwise, he was a weight bully. Why? Because he was bigger than guys that were welterweights, Avius Griffin and Tiger Johnson. He was bigger than them. I was telling AC, I was telling Pop. I know Pop probably thought I was hating, but I'm like, nah, I'm just looking at the picture. Like, I mean, I got off the Keyshawn. This one I got off the Keyshawn. This one I said, oh, I got to pull back from Keyshawn. He started calling out Tank. After every fight, I'm like, why are you doing that when we giving you a mulligan for being friends with Shakur? And there's smoke over there on your side. Like, why y'all not going for Loma? I didn't like it because it was some nigga shit. I ain't gonna lie, because it was like, oh, Shakur get to go at him, you get to go at him. You had Big Bro Bud going at him. It's like y'all are trying to form like Voltron on him. He must be a bad motherfucker. So when after every fight, he started saying this. Then he started the colorism shit. Dog, he like the light skin, all that. He started that, and I said, man, oh, you one of them, just like Clarissa Shields, making my ass itch with colorism. You know what I'm saying? I don't play that shit. Just like its cousin, racism. I don't play it. So then I started looking. I said, hold on, man, this dude like the manufactured drama. So when that shit happened with Baranchek and the fruit basket and all, I said, oh, so you like to start all that. And then when he found out and when he figured out that T.O. might have been involved, we don't really know who was involved. But it was like he thrived off that moment. I was like, oh, so you want them ones that you gotta create something where you thrive off of it. And I told everybody, I said it over here, I said it on the smoke session several times. I said, I guarantee you, I said, I bet you. I said, I bet you, I'm willing to bet anybody. I was taking all comers over there. I said, I bet you when he win that belt, if he go in there and he beat the shit out of Baranchek, I bet you he ain't gonna say Tank name. And what happened? He didn't say Tank name. He just used that man for clout all the way up. So I'm not a believer. And I know that skilled boxers, you stuck on the wrong shit. I'm not talking about that no more, Malazar. You pretty much been trolling the whole night. And you my guy, but you been trolling, Holmes. Like, you not listening to nothing I'm saying. So I'm done with that convo, bro. It's a wrap. AC, what you got?
Basically, good cook, man. Great way to, put a spotlight on Hitchins. Also, give him some accountability, because you might have, from the writing on the wall, you might have sabotaged your own thing by putting the cart before the horse by announcing you're a free agent.
But he signed back though.
No, but what I'm saying is now you signed. Now that you signed back, you understand the game now. Because I think you wouldn't have signed back if you didn't understand the game, and Eddie probably came to you and y'all just was like, yeah, it's just one of those weird moments. So I get it, let's go ahead, let's move forward. You want somebody that has the ability to bring all of those belts to Matchroom. I believe I'm your guy. Looking at the landscape of those other champions, I'm your guy. So at the end of the day, back me. I only want unifications right now. Do something right now to show you my loyalty. Give you a fight you want, but after that, I want all unifications. If they had that conversation and that's gonna be your mission, bro. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm going to always tell Malazar he got one good fan in Brooklyn right now. And that's all he needs is one good fan.
He got Bodywork Nation. He got Bodywork Nation. He gonna be all right.
Yeah. So
when that check come, he ain't gonna need he that's gonna be less people he gotta split and spend money on. Like, you know what I'm saying? He get all of the credit. Just like none of these props, none of these motherfucking what you call them, gimmicks that everybody got. You know, even the Loud Father, the Band of Brothers, the overzealous promoters. Like, he don't got none of that shit. No, you know, he don't got none of that shit. It's just him and these hands. You know what I'm saying? But
exactly. So
we're butting it up, man.
With that being said, bro, that's about it, man. Great show. Make sure people who's new to this on the playback, make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment on the video, man. Get the algorithm moving. Great content over here.
Appreciate it, man. And hit the hype button. Hit the hype button. The hype button, man. Spend the hype on your boy, man. If you ain't gonna super chat, spend a hype on your boy. It's worth it. This is nutritional value. This is the fruits and veggies, man. We don't be over here gaslighting, man. We be over here. We be speaking them hard truths, even if it ain't popular. But anyways, y'all, man, I just had to put a stake in the ground, man. Put some respect on these guys, man. Like, we can't be starving. We can't be starving and so quick to you know, adopt all these gimmicks, you know, these poison pills, these Trojan horses, and then the natural organic ones, you know, who got it out the mud. We don't put no respect on their name, man. Put some respect on Richardson Hitchins, man. He is a solid champion. He's a skilled boxer. He might not be everybody's cup of tea, but respect the guy, man. You know, especially coming out of the you know, rough neighborhood, you know, coming out of that city, you know, never compromising himself for real. Never taking an easy route, never getting, you know, fast tracked, you know, having to earn everything he got, man. That's the American way, if there was American way. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what folks is talking about, man. Like, I can relate. I ain't have no rich uncle. You know what I'm saying? My father ain't leave no legacy or give me nothing. Like, everything I got, I had to earn. I had to put my bootstrap. I had to go to the army. I had to become a man, like from the army. But getting it out the mud, the American way, like living a dream. And look at me now. You know what I'm saying? I pride myself on how this channel operate, man. We don't do all of the gossip and the salaciousness and all that, man. We really talk that boxing. We put stakes in the ground for the boxers who need it. The ones who, you know, might need a little shot in the arm, might need some promotion, might need to have light shed upon them for what they actually were able to do and what they have accomplished in the sport and where they're going. We stay off the beaten path. We are not dick riding nobody just for no popularity, just because everybody's shoving them down your throat. And look what be happening. They be getting exposed. We not doing it. This fruits and veggies, not that Reggie, that fact-based content, not opinion-based. Even though we have our silence is consent, meaning that all it takes for evil to prevail is for men and women to remain silent. So we speak to those things. Hopefully you was able to put something in your rucksack and march on with it, man. Till the next time. Thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. Well, we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to